I thought this was really interesting up on GameRevolution.com. An explanation for Forza Horizon 3's PC performance problems has finally been discovered. And it basically comes down to memory handling. Jonathan Leake wrote this up this weekend. I thought it was really interesting, right? Quote, Forza Horizon 3's PC version has been a cause for frustration among many PC gamers, myself included. Significant performance issues, including lower than expected frame rates and jarring stutter, have marred an otherwise outstanding experience that has become one of 2016's most highly rated. And somebody in the Forza forums basically came up with the idea that's like CPU usage normal, GPU usage is normal, use system memory, and then like dynamic video memory usage, GPU MC utilization is low, right, at 0 to 15%, and the GPU power draw is really, really low. So it was interesting that the dynamic video usage and the used system memory total close to around 8 gigabytes. And Rockstonico on the official Forza forums says, from this, I can conclude the engine is still using similar memory management as is used on the Xbox One. When the GPU frame buffer is overloaded, the game begins using system RAM as additional frame buffer memory. This also explains why people are seeing high utilization on one CPU core while the rest remain relatively idle. On the Xbox One, the system RAM is unified, meaning video and system RAM are both accessing DDR3 RAM with 68.3 gigabytes per second bandwidth, along with an additional bidirectional 50 gigabytes per second from ESRAM. Only massively overclocked GD4 barely has the bandwidth to provide a smooth frame rate when it's being used as additional frame buffer memory alongside GPU GDDR5. This cannot work well on PC hardware. So it looks like the assumption at this point is that the Forza port was a cut and paste for the PC, and it's not working so well for a lot of people out there.
I can't say I'm shocked by that revelation. And you know, it's interesting because if you look at the architectures between the PS4 and the Xbox One is the only one that has that SRAM.
Right.
So it's the only one that fundamentally would be a poor choice to cut and paste. If you had a PS4 game that you copy pasted over to a PC, it would work much closer, right? There's less architectural variance between those two platforms. So not a shock that they don't mention anything. They're not going to fix it, I assume, is the case. But hopefully they're learning from this at the very least, right? Where I haven't tried out the new Gears of War 4 yet that came out on both systems, but you would assume that they would go, oh, hey, we can't do that anymore. We can't, that technique that we used on that platform not only does it improve things on this side, but it actually is a detriment to performance. And once you recognize that type of stuff, hopefully they're smart enough people to like, you know, change it, shift directions at least slightly.
Generally speaking, negatively impacting performance is bad on a consumer game. I don't know. I mean, at this point, it's also amazing to realize, I'm trying to figure out if there's an easy way on Steam to figure out how many games on Steam actually use more than one core on your CPU.
Yeah.
But, you know, I had a funny discussion last weekend where I was like, you know, most PC games, vast majority of PC games that are played, the vast majority of hours are still using a single core. Somebody's like, no, they're using multi-cores. I'm like, the newest ones, the latest ones. But it's kind of amazing how sort of behind the curve a lot of that stuff sits. No.
Yeah.
I don't know. DX12 is helping, but how many machines are actually DX12 capable at this point?
I mean, there's a lot out there. I don't know. It's more of, do the developers need the benefits that DX12 provides yet? Like, again, it's heavily impacted on like CPU utilization and higher utilization of your hardware. But for the most part, people have a lot of hardware in their systems already. So like, what's the change worth?
At this point, probably not as much as getting a better GPU.